Hi, I'm Danny Lipford.
And I'm Chelsea Lipford-Wolf.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show. This week on Today's Homeowner, we're exploring some flooring thoughts and fixes.
All right, we're going long ways, right?
Yeah. So unless you live in a tent, you'll want to stay tuned. Chuck, you gonna be able to help us tomorrow?
Absolutely not.
Flooring makes up a lot of area in our home, so people often want to update it. But despite the fact that there are lots of do-it-yourself friendly options out there, some people are nervous about taking them on. So this week, we'll tackle one of those projects in the home of Laura and Chuck Davis. We've worked with Laura before, so she knows what she's getting into. But let's see if Chuck does.
Hey, Danny, come on in. I want you to meet my husband, Chuck.
Great. Hey,
Chuck,
Chuck, how are
Danny.
you?
Hey, Danny.
All
Chuck
right.
Davis.
All right, good to see you. Good to
Good to see you.
Now, you guys already have a lot of ceramic in here. Is this something that you put down a few years ago?
Several years back, actually, probably about 10 years ago. We have animals, so this helps out immensely with the with cats and such.
Well, it seems like so many people are getting away from carpet in a lot of situations, and I just always wondered with this much ceramic, is it cold on the feet, or is there any problems along those lines?
You know, it is, and I miss that. I play on the floor with
Yeah.
with the animals and with children, and I love having that carpet. But this is a little hard on the knees, and it's a little colder, but it makes up for it in upkeep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now, what about the flooring that you're talking about? I know we're talking about doing some flooring in your laundry room.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, we actually did the flooring in our bedroom, and we loved it. It was really rustic looking, but we had some left over, and so we thought, no waste. We'd like to do the one room in the house that we need to do.
Perfect.
So we'd like to show you.
Let's take a look at it and
come
see.
on. It's right down here, Danny. It's
Alrighty.
small, but I think that we have enough flooring to cover it.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be perfect, and the laminate will look great in here as well. So what I'll do is I can round up a few tools. We won't need much of anything since you have all of the materials. And Chuck, you gonna be able to help us tomorrow?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to watch it done. If I watch this done, she's going to expect me to do some flooring around
Oh,
it.
you got a pretty good theory going there.
That's where I'm going to stick with it.
I think you and I can handle it. What do you think?
I think we can do it.
Okay, sounds great.
Let's do it.
So early the next day, we get started. Tell them what we might find back there.
Yeah, frightening.
Well, another thing, it's kind of a decision when you have a situation like a floor like this and a water heater is to whether or not to remove the water heater. It's kind of a little bit of a big deal and requires, generally it's better to have a plumber. With short notice, I wasn't really able to find a plumber, so I ended up with this guy. Anyway, Alan, you think you can handle that? Cutting that, a little bit of soldering here.
Yeah,
and
a
there.
little soldering. Got the expansion tank, the vent, and the gas line. Yeah, we can get it.
And it's a little bit of an overkill to do that, but when you look at the pan and you think about the flooring butting up to it, that's not going to look good. It's always better to have it underneath it. This is a gas water heater. So the first step is turning off the fuel supply before turning off the water supply. An ordinary garden hose connects to the valve at the bottom of the unit to drain the water outside. Finally, Alan can open the valve and the pressure relief valve to let the heater drain. While the water heater drains, oh, that's not too bad back there, we can get ready to clear some floor space. They never seem to position those things in the right place.
Yeah, there's a little too much of it.
Oh boy, I bet this dryer's been drying pretty slow. Oh, we got a lot of lint up in there, Laura. That's okay. We'll vacuum all of that out. Like I say, you'll end up having a dryer that'll work a heck of a lot better than it did.
Well, that'll be nice.
And we'll definitely get rid of this thing.
All right, let's see if I can. Oh,
hi,
you're
Alan.
right
Come
there.
on in. There's plenty of room for you, too.
Okay.
It's a little crowded in this tight space, but so far, no injuries from stepping over each other.
Since I'm dealing with copper here, I'm going to just sweat these joints off, and what that means is I'm going to melt the solder that's holding it together right now.
Once the water heater is empty, Alan can get busy removing it. You think you can get that?
Well, Danny, can you help me just swivel this a little bit? And watch your fingers. Oh yeah. All right, you got it. Can move this back.
Because the corners are so tight, it takes a little planning to figure out how to get this thing out. No problem, I got it.
Look at it. Look at this. Look at the difference between the color. It's actually the heat from the water heater on that pan that kept the pan just warm enough to discolor the.
Color. We might have to dust that up.
You think? Just a little bit.
We might as well go ahead and take this off, Laura. Let me show you here.
Is this going to be the hardest part so far?
It's really pretty easy. Well, you never know with it. Yeah, there's nothing to that.
Well, you made it look easy.
That way it'll just get it out of our way. Spoke too early, didn't we?
There you go. The idea was to see how many tools you...
Yeah. Finally, we're ready to move some stuff. Oh, let's see here. We got a little paint touch up to do there now.
Oh, that's okay. There's a lot of touching up to be done. Am I coming for the next one?
Yeah. Let's come in here and get the wet one.
Are you going to turn it or is it going under this
Nope,
side?
it should go under that side. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now go ahead and turn. Watch your hands.
And maybe if we did a few more, we'd have it down to...
Well, we're going to do it twice more at least. Now, the cleaning. Is there any money in there? No money?
That's okay, I'm a pro at this. This is how I actually mop my floors.
While we finish up the cleaning, why don't you check out this week's Simple Solution with Joe Truini.
Squeaky floors can be annoying and difficult to repair, especially if you don't have access below the floor. In this case, we're on a second floor bedroom that's carpeted, so we can't get below to fix the squeak, so we're going to do it from above using a trim head screw. Trim head screw is simply a really narrow wood screw that has a very tiny head that you can drive through the carpeting and into the subfloor. So the first thing you need to do, locate the squeak and then separate the fibers of the carpet so they don't get wound up around the screw shaft. Then push the screw down tightly to the floor. And then simply a matter of driving it in. You want to drive it all the way down through the carpeting and into the subfloor. Because it has a nice small head, it goes all the way down and you'll never see it. But there you go. Now it's best to drive that screw right into a joist, then it really holds tight. But even when you don't, you just go through the subfloor, this will solve the squeaks almost every time.
Oh yeah, there we go. This week we're taking on a project with Laura Davis to update the flooring in her laundry room.
Look at it. Look at this. Look.
It's not a big space, but the project sure seems to be growing. Well, this is one reason to replace the floor, in spite that, in addition to it being so old and aged, but that's so common for the washing machine leg to cause it to rip like that. You know, with a laminate floor, floating floor like that, you can almost go right over it, cut it out and go over it. It's under the washing machine, but what we'll do, I have some floor patch that I brought because I anticipated something somewhere, and we'll just cut it out and then patch it with this real fast drying floor patch compound. That way we never have to worry about it. But with a pattern type vinyl like this, you can actually patch that by just cutting it out and putting another piece in. All right. Now we've got it to a point where I think we can go ahead and take the shoe molding off. Okay. You'll be glad I brought these. These are your friends. Once we've geared up, I give Laura a few tips on how to best remove shoe molding. Be careful of the knife, but just kind of go along and let that slide across the top of it there to just cut that paint line. Then you can gently pry the shoe away from the base without causing any damage. But then here's another thing you can do. If you'll take this and instead of if you drive that back through, it'll bust out the face of this. But if you'll grab just one of those staples, then you can pull it out like that. See what I mean? And that way you're not disturbing the face of that, even though you're disturbing the back of it a pretty good bit. Okay, see that? The floor patch I'll put in here, all I'm doing is raising it up to the thickness of this, just so that it doesn't fall off in there in any way, but won't take much floor patch at all, and that's probably about the only area we have to worry about.
Is that like cement?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just real powdery. People get in trouble with this all the time because you only have about 8 minutes of working time, and it will set up on you so fast. You see, it's kind of like pancake batter.
Yeah. Are you timing yourself?
No, I'm just going fast.
How long is it gonna take it to dry then?
Oh, just a few minutes, and then we can start laying the floor almost immediately. Since the patch will be covered, it just needs to be smooth, not pretty. Usually you'd start a floor in the center, but here, because all this whole side's covered, we could start over there, and then any split or cut that we may have is hidden on this side anyway.
Yeah.
There we go. That's all we need right here. Let me go clean this out of this bucket, dump it out in your flower bed. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, we're talking about all of these stains around here. Before we put this floor down, I found some stain blocker. While we take care of that, Jody has found a new flooring option in this week's Best New Product.
You know, I love the look of a hardwood floor, but honestly, I love the durability of a porcelain tile. And look what Marazzi has done. They have married the two surfaces by creating a porcelain tile that mimics the look of a hand-scraped hardwood floor. And this is fantastic. This is part of their Montagna collection, and you can see they've got a couple of different options here. This is the gunstock option, and then of course this is the natural option. But I love this because it comes in 6 by 24 inch planks. And look, along the back, you've got your porcelain tile here, so it means it's easy installation. What I love best about it is the maintenance on this, because you're not going to get the expansion and the contraction that you would get with a hardwood plank. And also, there's no sanding or having to refinish this. All you got to do is just take a damp mop and clean it, so it's very durable. So if you're in the market for something that looks like a hardwood floor, but you want the durability and stability of a porcelain tile, look no further than this, because this is great for high traffic areas. You can also put it on floors, walls, and even countertops, they say.
So far, our flooring project in Chuck and Laura's house has been all about prepping the laundry room to get it ready. I'll let you roll this right out.
Okay, why are we rolling the blue side up?
We're finally ready to lay down some flooring. Because it says so right here. And this is a lot thicker than a lot of the underlayments. So I don't know if you did that intentionally when you bought
I
it.
didn't. They suggested it, but yeah, they said it was real good, so.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's a lot quieter, because that's one of the complaints that a lot of people have with a laminate type floor, a floating floor, kind of a clickety clackety, kind of a hollow sound. And this kind of eliminates a lot of that. So I'm gonna let you cut this. Let me make sure I'm okay down here. Yep, we're good down here. When you're cutting this stuff, it's always best to go a little bigger rather than smaller. You can always trim a little later. You're doing good right now.
We're not putting any glue under it.
No, no glue necessary. That's why people love it. Okay, we'll just kind of tuck this around a little bit, and we're ready for the first piece. Hey, you know, when you're talking about painting those walls,
right.
You know, when you paint it now, I notice you have something up here for Chase.
Yeah, we're not painting over that.
Wow, he got pretty tall. What was that?
That was when he was 16. Now he's 23, so I'm going to get one more measurement, but I don't want to paint that over.
No, I'll tell you what I think would be a cool idea. It's just to buy a regular picture frame that you like. Take whatever's there, just the glass, and put it right there, nail it in place, and then paint everything else.
I love it.
And then you just have that highlighted right in there.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I saw somebody do that one time, and I thought that was perfect. I also heard of people selling houses and ended up with a hole in the wall.
Well,
So-
I'll take it with me if we go. I won't take the floor, but I'll take the chart. Yeah, I'll take the chart.
Okay, you're going to be amazed at how easy this is. First of all, just lay that one down.
All right, and we're going long ways, right?
Yeah, and go up against the wall. Of course, the key thing here, and the thing that everybody messes up on, is putting it too tight against the wall of Sycamore. Because if you put it, there's a little bit of expansion and contraction, and you put it, you know, if we install it too tight, it expands and contracts, and that stuff will buckle right up out of the ground. Once you know the length you need to finish a run, you can make the cut. A miter saw is ideal for this. Just be sure that the tongue or groove on the piece you're cutting matches up with the piece it connects to on the floor. By tipping one piece up at an angle, you can lock it into the adjoining piece as you press it down. To maintain our space from the baseboard, we've added little wooden spacers.
Now, what's that for?
Just to keep it that consistent 3/8 of an inch off the wall. Push it in, In order to keep all the seams from landing side by side, you want to alternate the placement of the board so the seam locations vary. For a small room like this one, we found it was easier to connect the inseams first and then join both pieces together to the previous row.
Yeah, there we go. All right, now down.
So I'm just using this as a guide for the thickness of it. Cutting the door casing at this height with a jam saw will allow us to slide the flooring underneath it and eliminate any gaps around the casing. How does that look on that wall down there as far as the overall length?
It's right up against it.
When we put down the rest of the underlayment, we lay the pieces side by side and join them with tape so that there's no shifting later. This last piece of flooring will be a little more narrow, so I'm ripping it down on the table saw. Just remember, be sure you have the tongue on the correct side of your cut. Finally, we're ready to install the shoe molding. Put the threshold in place and wrap up this flooring project.
All right, so you thought you were going to get out of a bunch of work, huh? You know, Alan was around here. He's going to be in here soon. I can see he's been in here too. So.
Oh, I see
You see
he's
that?
been around.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
Trying to hide his snacks.
It's the end of the day, and Chuck is home from work. Now, he may have ducked out on installing the flooring, but we're not going to let him miss out on this heavy lifting.
Well, I'll have to say your wife worked.
I saw her with knee pads on.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I mean, heck, what do you think of the floor?
I love it. It looks great.
You know, it's a thicker laminate than I think I've ever put down. So
Really?
it's a lot more durable for areas, you know, potentially wet areas.
Can get some water,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
we don't
yeah.
generally get water in here, but
Yeah, it's-
you do have a washing machine.
That'll be ready for you to wash your load of clothes tonight.
Perfect.
While laminate flooring is a do-it-yourself friendly installation, carpet is not. So if your carpet's looking a little bad, you might want to consider cleaning it rather than replacing it.
Most experts agree that professionally cleaned carpet is the best way to go. But before you hire just anyone, here's some questions you need to ask. First of all, what kind of system is it? Truck mounted, it's going to be one of the best. It's got the power to pull out all the moisture in the carpet. Are they going to move furniture for you? Will they pre-treat stains? And when they pre-treat, it's got to be some chemicals, some good detergent. But when it's time to clean, here's my best recommendation for you. Find someone who's going to clean with only steam, no detergent. Here's why. You put detergent on your rug, it becomes a film. It may look great, it may look very clean, but the minute you get some dirt, start tracking in to the house, and you can see dirt sticks to detergent like a magnet. Hey, got some more flooring questions? Let's ask Danny.
Diane wants to know, our carpet has indentations in it. Can it be repaired?
Yes, that's a real common problem when people decide to rearrange their furniture a bit. You're left with those indentations from maybe the legs of a sofa, just like these homeowners experienced when they positioned this sofa here that had sat here for many, many years. They moved it over so they have a little better viewing of their television. Here's how you get rid of those indentations. First of all, take a damp hand cloth and put it directly over the indentation. Then use a steam iron and heat that towel up. Then every few seconds, pull it back and use a spoon to fluff up the fibers of the carpet. A little more steam heat, a little more fluffing, then finish it off with a vacuum to really make everything look nice and consistent. That way, no one will ever know that you rearranged your furniture. We finally completed the flooring in Laura and Chuck's laundry room. While a laundry isn't the most popular location for new flooring, it may be among the most challenging, and it certainly made a difference in the appearance of a room that sees a lot of use. Well, Laura, it wasn't very big of a room, but still quite a bit of work in there.
It's going to make washing and drying so much more fun.
Well, it was a good bit of work for us, but not so much for Chuck. Huh?
He showed up at just the right times, don't
Just
you
the
think?
way I like it, Danny. Call the man.
Well, it worked out great. It was so great to meet you guys and to work on your home, and hope we can do it again sometime, huh? Absolutely. All right, good. Thank you. Hey, you know, when you're choosing flooring, there's a lot to consider. Of course, there's a lot out there, but the thing you need to keep in mind is probably because of budget and time, you're not going to be able to do all the projects in your house on your flooring at the same time. But you want to think about the flow and the overall look of it so that whatever you choose for that first project works well for all the other flooring projects that you may do. I'm Danny Lipford. Thanks so much for being with us this week. We'll see you next week.
We survived. I survived a Danny Lipford makeover.
Man, I just went right straight to an bleh.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.